Yo, welcome to this training. The voice in your head is not you. This is a guide to separating your true self from your ego so that identity work and manifesting actually stick. 5 principles from The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. Number 1, there is a difference between the part of you that is aware and the constant inner voice commenting on everything. Most people never even notice that there's a gap between the two. The reason why self-awareness, understanding the separation between the ego and who you actually are, it's so important because behind every goal that you have, behind all the discipline, behind the life you want to live, you need to be self-aware to create that separation, because this separation applies to anything else, right? With triggers and actually actions, like if you have bad habits, it starts off as a thought. So if you do something, it always starts off as a thought, and the actions you take create your reality. So if you can really see your thoughts and separate the constant voice that is in your head, then you can control and shape your reality much better. The ego is built from old fear and old hurt trying to protect you. It's not actually who you are. It's a protection mechanism you've had for so long. It feels like your personality. Most emotional reactions come from the ego feeling threatened, not from what's actually happening in the moment. You can notice a thought or feeling without becoming it. The second you can say, I notice that I'm feeling this, you've already put some distance between you and it. The more you stop needing to control everything, to defend everything, and to explain everything, the more room there is for who you actually are underneath everything. Ego versus true self. There's a very big difference. I'm going to explain the two. So the ego and your true self can be defined and described by the following things. Number 1, the ego. This is the voice that is narrating. This is the defense mechanism. This is the comparing and the reacting. This is built out of old fear and old hurt. Now the true self is the quiet part of you underneath the voice. This is the part of you that notices the voice talking. What gets triggered the second something feels like a threat to how you see yourself. The stories you tell yourself to protect an identity that isn't even really you. And what's actually left once the noise quiets down. All of these shape which one's been running your life. Which is exactly why some days feel calm and clear and other days feel reactive and heavy. You see, the ego is the voice, which is fear in disguise. A lot of what feels like personality is really just fear that's been around so long you stop noticing it. To live a different life, you need to be a different person. You are the result of your identity, because in a way your self-image and identity has created the life you're living right now. Your income, the relationships in your life, the quality of your life, the peace in your life, right? All these things are created by your identity. And if you can't create self-awareness and you can't introduce self-awareness between the ego and the true self, then you cannot really change your identity and become a different person to get a different life. In a way, you're always going to be in this cycle. You live the same life, you think the same thoughts, and you just never escape this loop. Now, needing to be right really is just being afraid of being wrong. Needing to control everything is really just being afraid of what happens if you don't. And needing to explain yourself is really just being afraid of being misunderstood. So changing your identity isn't just about repeating new beliefs to yourself. You actually have to deal with the fear that is underneath, still trying to protect the old version of you. What actually shapes which one runs your life? Here's what shapes it. How much you've practiced noticing the voice instead of just automatically believing whatever it says. Whether you react instantly to things or give yourself half a second first. That space between action, thought and action, between trigger and reaction, that is self-awareness, and that is separation, and that is when you find your true self. And how much of your identity depends on being right, being seen a certain way, or staying in control. These are all identity and ego triggers. And also whether you can sit with an uncomfortable feeling without needing to fix it, explain it, or get away from it. And how much actual silence you get in a normal day. Now, why does this actually matter? Because if the ego is the one running things, every single goal quietly turns into protecting an image instead of actually becoming somebody new. That is where manifesting and identity work usually fall apart for people. This is why affirmations alone don't really work. You can say new words every morning, but if the same fear is still calling the shots underneath, then nothing is actually changing. Like you literally live the same life, even though you have bigger goals, even though you want to achieve something else, you will continue to live the same exact life on repeat time and time again. So if most of your reactions lately have been about being right, being seen, or staying in control, that's not really you driving right now. You're not in control. That is the fear and the ego that is in control. And nothing you're trying to build sticks while it is the one in charge, which includes identity shifting, which is one of the big pillars, because you can't build a new identity while the old fear is still busy protecting the old one. So quiet the voice before you try to change the identity. You're not the voice in your head, you're just the one who notices it talking. Ask yourself right now, next time you feel a strong reaction today, can you pause for 1 second and ask, is this actually me, or is this just the fear talking? Identity work isn't only about deciding who you want to become. A lot of what feels like your personality right now is just honestly just fear you've gotten so used to that you just stopped questioning it. 2 scenarios over here. Scenario number 1, the person gets defensive the moment they're challenged or criticized, even slightly. Number 2, they need to be right in almost every conversation, even ones that don't matter. Number 3, they feel a strong reaction and they act on it immediately, without any pause. And lastly, they assume every thought that just shows up is just who they are. Scenario 2, they notice the defensiveness coming up and pauses before reacting. They create space between trigger and reaction. They can be wrong, corrected, or misunderstood without it feeling like an attack on who they are. They feel a strong reaction and they take half a second before acting, and they can tell the difference between a thought and who they actually are. So the takeaway here is that you're not the constant commentary running through your head. You are the one who is aware of it, and that's been true this whole time. Start questioning the voice instead of just believing it automatically. That is where real identity change actually starts. So if you keep trying to become a new version of yourself, but something underneath keeps pulling you back to the old one, that is usually old fear still running the show. It's not a lack of effort on your part. And that is the deeper work we do inside the Discipline Mentorship. There is a free training linked in the description below. So click that link, watch the free training, and then apply and submit an application to see if you're a right fit to work with us if you want to go deeper and get personal coaching from myself inside of the mentorship. Take care, and you got this.